And then when David Gilmour joined the band, was there a feeling of sort of moving in a new direction, maybe more musicality, or?
It's very curious looking back on that period, because in a way Sid had been so much the leader of the band up until then, doing most of the writing, front man and so on. When David arrived, for some time, initially anyway, he was more or less just taking over what Sid had done. So we were still playing the same Sid songs. And there was a curious transition, but what did happen was that we really got re-enthused, because it had been really difficult working with Sid, and it was not a happy period. It was really difficult. But suddenly to be four guys who once again were sort of set on a track was very powerful, and it made it a lot easier to develop our own style, I suppose. And yes, it probably, Dave's influence would have been absolutely the musical end of it. And that was it, yes. So we tracked off down this new route. But Saucer, which was the album that was sort of working in this transition period, I think had there are all sorts of indicators in the album that show the route we were actually going to continue along, particularly the title track and things like Set the Controls, which I think is a song that's lasted fantastically well. But that was Roger's sort of second song, really. Previous to that, he'd written Doctor Doctor on Piper, which, you know, is nothing like as sophisticated or good as Set the Controls.
So maybe with Sid leaving, it left a hole that was sort of filled by a combination of David, Rogers, and Rick, you, and that gave the band a sort of, well, similar to the Beatles in the sense of multi-writers, multi-singers, diversity.
But I think the big thing was that sort of sense of all wanting to achieve the same sort of goal and the same sort of interest in the music. And that's what usually fires, I think, younger bands, is the ability to actually work as a group.
And initially, around that time, was there a strong desire to explore and experiment? You had Adam Hart Mother with an orchestra and choir and everything. Was that a conscious thing? Yes,
but I think what we ended up doing in a way was going down some sort of cul-de-sacs. You know, I think Atom Heart Mother, which I think we're all fond of it as an album and think it's interesting and so on. It was not the route that we ended up continuing down, in the same way that Ummagumma wasn't either. That the idea of everyone operating separately didn't work particularly well, and it was really Meddle that was the next stepping stone in the way forward towards Dockside.